What is up, my emotionlings? Prison Dog here, and today I will be reviewing the movie Inside Out 2, directed by Kelsey Mann in his directorial debut, and written by Meg Leffel and Dave Holstein. The plot follows the emotions guiding Riley through her life as a teenager, until one day the dreaded puberty alarm goes off and they have new emotions: anxiety, envy, and embarrassment. Anxiety proposes to take a different direction with Riley, but Joy doesn't like it, so she sends the legacy emotions out of headquarters, and now they got to go back to stop anxiety from taking over Riley's mind. Now, if you want my opinion in the first movie, I'd say it's a solid movie. It's not my favorite out of Pixar's movies, and I have a couple of issues with the plot, but it's still like a low 8 out of 10 for me. So, when I originally heard there was going to be an Inside Out 2, part of me was like, why? I'd hate to be the biased one here, but I always found the timing of Disney and Pixar announcing sequels questionable, as after Toy Story 4 and Frozen 2, it seemed like they were moving away from sequels and focusing on more original projects. So, whenever they announced sequels, it always came across as too little too late. But given their recent movies have flopped either from lack of marketing or impact from the pandemic or writer's strike, it does make sense they would do sequels. And then I saw the first trailer for it, and I was like, okay, now I see some potential in this becoming another franchise. But I still wanted to keep expectations in check, because despite all of the praise, Pixar hasn't always had the greatest track record when it comes to sequels. For every Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 2, we get the infamous Cars 2 to the unnecessary Toy Story 4. And then, after being gone from the movie theaters for months, I finally got a chance to see Inside Out 2, and I liked it. I wasn't really crazy over it, but I still enjoyed it a bit more than the original. Let me talk about what I liked about this movie. First off, I think the movie does a good job at expanding from the original. With Riley becoming a teenager, you gotta question how all of this is going to work inside headquarters, and the movie handles it pretty well. You got the belief strings, the puberty alarm gets expanded upon, you got the memory vault, and let's not forget all of the new emotions being introduced. And for a Pixar movie that handles puberty, I think it does a much better job at that than a certain other Pixar movie that came out 2 years ago. I don't remember the name of it, but I think it had something to do with red pandas. The animation remains a consistent quality with Pixar. It's no-brainer that Pixar has a thing for evolving their technology for each movie. The only thing that really stands out about this movie is its use of other styles, like second to whatever style you want to call for a lance/blade. And I do like the characters a bit more here than in the first movie, especially Joy. In the first movie, her arc was simplistic and straightforward, but here, her arc is much more complicated, as she has to handle an emotion much more complex than sadness. Anxiety is also a relatable new character, as her goal is trying to do what's best for Riley, but her and Joy realize they can't decide who she is. And some of the supporting emotions get a few good moments here and there. Now, for as much as I actually like this movie, I have to be honest. I didn't entirely love it as much as everyone else did, which leads me into my problems with the movie. Like, for starters, the plot of the movie isn't anything new. It's basically a retread of the original Inside Out, but with a few changes here and there, and really it just feels more like a side story than a continuation of the first movie. Sure, there are a couple good moments, but in comparison to the first movie. And even though I liked Luffy, I feel like him and Lance/Blade could have gotten more screen time, because whenever they showed up you never hear about them again. I mean, Bocce is still there, but they could have given the Dogman more screen time. You didn't need to give him a crucial arc, you could have just had him show up at random times just to say a funny. But that's probably a me problem. But overall, despite my negatives, I still had an enjoyable time watching Inside Out 2, and I slightly prefer it more than the original. Overall I give Inside Out 2 an 8 out of 10. It's one of the better Pixar sequels out there. Anyways, I don't have anything else to bring you. Stay tuned next month for an upcoming video about Inside Out 2 and Trolls 3 Fan 2001.
वो ब्लेड